This one's for the culture. Me and wifey in the room thinking of a master plan, thinking how we can influence the culture from where we stand. Knowing that our steps are ordered by the master's hand, still 10 toes down, we ain't switching up the stance. The mission of this music ain't just to make them dance, trying to tell them about the rock.
Welcome everybody. We have another bonus episode because this topic is so hot, we could not let it pass. So today, I am your lovely, gracious, humble, highly favored, good-looking, married and never cheating host, Raymond Bond, also Mr. Ray Bond on Twitter and Mr. Bond Chronicles on Instagram. And I am joined by my host,
Mrs. Bond Chronicles on Instagram and Ms. Bond on Twitter.
Twitter?
Yeah,
okay.
MZ. That's how I fit it.
Okay. So we have a topic we can get right into it. It's a nuanced topic, I'm sure, unless, again, because the world just keeps on giving. The month of March was full of a bunch of different things, and that's great for us because we have plenty of content to get into. So in recent news, the internet sensation of a couple, the relationship goals couple, the oh my god, I can't believe they're together, they're so cute, they're so successful, all of that, Saweetie and Quavo. Mm-hmm. What a tragic end we are seeing right before our very eyes.
Tragic, though?
What would you call it?
I don't know. I just feel tragic is extreme. It's not like they were somebody we thought were going to get married or anything like that. Like,
I don't think that's the case for most people. I think a lot of people saw them as it. He slid into the DM with the snowflake. They had the beautiful romance, the pictures, the trips, the cars, the Birkins. Like, that was it.
Yeah, I guess. By today's social media standards of what good relationships look like, sure, they were it.
Right. So that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
So just a little background. They had dated about 2 to 3 years or so, from what we understand. And like I said, you heard about the Birkin. He bought her, was the Bentley?
Yeah, Bentley.
Bought her a Bentley. Like, just lavish gifts, lovely lifestyles of the rich and famous from an older group.
That used to be the show, though.
Yeah, and I was a fan. And then it all came crashing down. And she went on a show with her ex, Justin Combs, and it was Justin LeBoy's new show. He premiered it, and they was laughing and giggling and all that extra. Body language experts was reading everything about it. There was some games played that, as a man that would be dating or with a woman, I wouldn't necessarily want her playing with her ex.
So you watched the Justin LeBoy episode?
I've watched
bits and pieces.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it, really any of it. Just the only part I've seen is where she's like, yeah, I'm super single. Yeah. Basically.
And so, obviously, Quavo didn't take too kindly to that. And we'll get into some of the repercussions that sometimes other people run into when you get involved in other people's business. Especially if some of those people, come from the streets. And are amigos. And they have all had their fair share of legal problems, violent legal problems. Shout out to Offset for beating his most recent charge. But there are others that still exist. So that's not really the group that you do that with. So we'll go ahead and get right into it and kind of kick it off with, I'll get your initial take on, I don't know where you really want to jump in or from the beginning. There was The Elevator, which was most recent. And the video, from what I saw, and I'm just going to cite aside, I don't know the others that well at all, but he seemed to be that kind of guy. He was romantic of the group. We know Offset, we know Takeoff. They're not really the romantic type, not really the faithful type. Quavo, we thought was a little different.
Apparently, neither is Quavo.
We thought he was a little different. Maybe not as much. So, no, I'll say that. But the point is, if you're going to do research and you have access to the video, post the whole video. What I saw bothered me. I believe y'all were trying to put forth an angle, and I don't think that's fair to him. And then obviously people went off in the comments, but they basically cut from when he first grabbed her and threw her and didn't show anything before that. And I didn't think that was good reporting, whether you're a news agency or whatever you want to call y'all. So there was an elevator incident. There were no criminal charges initially filed. It appears that Los Angeles is now looking into that. It appears that happened about a year or more ago. So it's not something new. It definitely happened last year, but it's not a good look. And so we're going to get into all of that. So I'll let you kind of go. I know I've been talking for a little bit, and give your takes, and I'll jump in.
I mean, first off, I gotta be 100% honest. I could really care less about the two of them, like as a couple, as a union. Like,
why is that?
I just don't. I don't really listen to Saweetie's music, so like, yeah. And the songs that I have heard, they don't move me. Like the Best Friend song or whatever, like that's cool. But again, that's not really my speed. I don't particularly know very much about her besides the fact that she was dating Quavo. That's how I really knew her. And then for what it's worth, like, I like the Migos. I've seen them live like 4 times. But I know it's crazy, right? I've seen them live like 4 times.
Okay.
I don't think I listened to any of their individual projects when they first dropped. And then I did, and I was like, oh, I like them better as a group. And
I think everybody felt that way.
Yeah, I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to them individually or as a unit. So when I heard that they broke up, I was like, that's not surprising. When I heard her reason behind why they broke up, that he was unfaithful and all that kind of stuff, again, I was not super surprised. I did not look at them as like relationship goals. I looked at them more as like, what's a cool way to recklessly spend your money?
Yeah.
So I didn't really care until all the drama started. And then I'm just like, oh, what's going on here in the celebrity world? Yeah. And so it was like, I saw the video because, I mean, you sent it to me, and you sent me originally the Shade Room version.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, Quavo, he roughed her up. Like, what's going on here? And obviously, I'm tapping the video to see if there's audio to go with it, but there's no sound.
Elevators need to do a better job. What? They get all these videos, but they don't never get no audio.
But that's the thing. And I was like, when I saw it, I was like, Black celebrity men just need to stay out of elevators. And stay out of elevators with women they're beefing with. Because it's been Ray Rice, Jay-Z, Bow Wow. Like, it's been quite a few of them that got hemmed up because of an elevator video.
You know what else happens in those videos?
What?
Women put their hands on it. Every time. That's the part, and I felt bad. And I'm glad Ray Rice and his wife have moved on.
Definitely.
But somehow it's missed that she spit on him and was beating him in the hallway and before they got on the elevator. Mm-hmm. From all accounts, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. He never did nothing to Solange.
Yeah.
And she is celebrated for beating Jay-Z on behalf of Beyonce.
And I'll get into this in a little bit. For what it's worth, like my sisters, you ain't gonna disrespect my sister and think I'm just gonna be okay with it. And I mean, that's in real life for me. Like, 2 of my sisters are married. Like, it's never going down that way. Now, would I go as far as to beat somebody up or attempt to beat somebody up? No, I don't think so.
So if Jay-Z would have dropped Solange in the elevator, then what?
And so for me, it's a very fine line because it's like, I've seen the Jay-Z video, obviously. Everybody's seen that video. Like, he showed enormous restraint to not knock her out. But had he have?
They would have killed him for it.
Oh, most definitely. But I necessarily wouldn't have been upset with him.
So
because at some point you have to, like, you're in a confined space. There's someone literally attacking you. At what point do you start to defend yourself? And your wife ain't doing nothing.
And I've done nothing to you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to you. What me and my wife go through is none of your business.
Yeah.
First off.
That is 100%
So
true.
you super out of pocket. And then you put your hands on me, and we know Jay.
Yeah, we've seen videos of Jay.
Like, we know where he come from, what he's about, what he represents.
I've seen quite a few videos of Jay hitting women, so
that, again, we'll get more into it, but that, so frustrating. Continue.
So, I mean, I don't disagree with you on that portion, whatever. TMZ, like, I don't know who be talking to TMZ, what TMZ does, but they get everything. Literally everything. It's kind of disrespectful how nosy they are.
I mean, it's the world.
You see, but it's TMZ, like, they'll report something,
but they get
and
it
you'll
from
be
people.
like, dang, I hope that's not true. But if you see it on TMZ, you
It's facts.
know it's true.
Facts.
There's no wondering about it. The story was going to break everywhere else later on. But TMZ always be having a scoop, and that's just, I need their hookups. Like, I want to talk to the people they be talking to.
They definitely get all of it. So my stance is similar to yours from the beginning. Like I said, I've never been a big Migos fan. Not really my type of music.
I know, I am a Migos fan. Like
that's fine. Not surprising in some ways. But I was a Quavo fan, or I am a Quavo fan. I've seen a lot of stuff he does from a sports standpoint, just from a way he carries himself standpoint. Thought he was pretty dope. So then the breakup situation happened. And so let me put this out there also. For y'all that have been watching us and following us, we appreciate it. Well, you got that look.
I'm just wondering where you're going.
So for those of y'all who've been following us, in our last episode, I was very clear on how I felt about Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson's trash. How I feel about cheaters. Have little use for them. So on this point, I have no defense for Quavo. However, these women, and this is to, I think, maybe even to Derek Jackson's point, I don't know, because I don't really listen to him. Why do y'all keep dating these entertainers? These young, black, rich, successful entertainers that constantly are surrounded by all of the women that all want to look a certain way, with all the plastic surgery, and their main goal is to sleep with your man. And then when your man falls short, because they all fall short, I don't know why y'all be surprised. I don't know why y'all be upset. I don't know why y'all be shocked.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because this little tangent, we've had this conversation before. Don't be in a relationship with me and you still want to go out and do all the stuff you want to do. If you want to be,
you know what comes with the territory.
No.
Yes, you do.
I'm not saying you don't know what comes with the territory. I'm saying if you, the entertainer, superstar, all the money, all of the girls, all of that, you know that you can't resist temptation. But you decide you want to be in a relationship with me, then you need to do better. It is not my fault because you can't control the stuff that's going on in your pants. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous, and that's totally a cop-out. Because
so you
at
think
the
she
end
thought
of the
he was
day,
going to be faithful?
It doesn't matter if she thought.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't. It does not matter if she thought he was going to be faithful. He told her he was going to be faithful by making a commitment to be in a relationship with her. Because regardless of at the end of the day, when you tell someone, I want to be with you, I want to be with you exclusively, this is a monogamous relationship.
We don't even know how they said that.
It don't matter that they were in a relationship. They were clear that they were in a relationship. Clearly, there was no openness to the relationship because if there were, Saweetie wouldn't be upset. Just because you're an entertainer does not give you the freedom to cheat on your significant other. Now, if you make that decision to go out and be a scumbag, then you're making that decision to be a scumbag.
That's right.
So trying to put it on the women who decide to date entertainers and athletes and whoever, you should know that your man's going to cheat on you. No, you shouldn't.
How should you not?
For that matter, then what's the difference between a regular person cheating versus a celebrity cheating? Because
the temptation is not even close to the same.
the access is
lifestyle-
always there, though.
It is not the same. It is
Whatever.
not. I don't get to travel the world, and at the end of my show, I got 150 women throwing themselves at me.
But
Every single night of the week. Every time I go to the club. Every time I go out with my fellas. Every time I want to do anything, I can have any girl I want in any club, in any place I
then
go
don't
to.
be in a relationship.
I'm
It's
not
that
disputing
simple.
that. That wasn't my issue. I told you.
It's
I'm
that
not.
simple. You can't put the onus on the woman.
I am telling you y'all. And okay, y'all want to be like her? Then you're going to be disappointed when you date the next rapper or the next ball player and he dogs you. You can be Khloe Kardashian. You can be Kim Kardashian. You can be Saweetie. You can be Cardi B. You can be Beyonce. It's going to happen. So you can play this.
Why are you yelling at the audience, though?
This is what I do. This is how I talk. So you can take that approach. Well, if you're not going to be faithful with me, don't be with me. Okay. And you won't get the Birkins. You won't get the Bentley trucks. You won't get the diamonds.
Well,
you won't
clearly
get
none
the
of
money.
that mattered because Saweetie left.
She left, but guess what she left with? The stuff.
I mean, I should get a consolation prize for you being a dirty dog.
A consolation prize. Oh.
Yeah.
Because we know that Saweetie was just perfect in this relationship, which is why in the video she swung on him first, right?
I'm not saying that she was perfect in a
So what
relationship,
consolation
but
prize he get for not dropping her when she swung on him?
I mean, hopefully he don't go to jail.
Oh, so that's the consolation prize. You swing at me first,
He
and my
cheated.
consolation.
He's garbage. He is trash because he cheated on her. And if you listen,
And is that your take on all women who cheat? I just want to be
all
clear.
people who cheat.
Okay.
Period.
I hope you. Okay.
I don't make any excuses for anybody who's a cheater.
Okay. I just
You
want to make sure
garbage.
that all
You
people
can. I mean, you
that cheat, you put in that criteria because there's a long list. And like I said, you got friends, you got family that cheated. And so you're saying that everyone who cheats is trash. That's what we're going
They
with?
make trash decisions.
Oh, okay.
Is that
Now
better?
let's bring it back now that it hit home. Okay. I get it. You see how quickly things change when it comes to your front door? But that's
It's
not what this is
even-
about.
Fine. Pivot.
No, I'm going back to where I was at. So in this situation, I thought, like I said, the reporting I thought was bad on Sharon's part. However, I agree that these men should stop dating these women because you're not going to be faithful. And I don't think they have any desire to really be faithful long term. And we can name any entertainer, any celebrity that hits this level, and Migos was at that level. They were at the Drake, the Wayne, the Jay. They hit the pinnacle of their field. So they had whatever they want. They're in the studio late nights, working on songs. Like, it's just a terrible mix to expect to remain faithful to someone in that situation. I just don't think it's a good situation. So we kind of got to it indirectly, and that's this idea that, and it's a broader conversation, is that I keep hearing, we just got out of Women's History Month. We bigged up women at the end of our show. We love women. I'm with a woman, love her to death. But there's this, it's like we want equality, but there's also double standards.
Ooh, this is where you're going?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right.
And so, like, and this discussion happens in a lot of different avenues, but I don't want to hear Quavo's trash. He's domestic violence. He's all this because he refrained himself. And like you said, Jay-Z gets a pat on the back for showing great restraint. If that wasn't Saweetie and that was Sean that swung on Quavo, and Quavo would have dropped Sean.
Who's Sean?
Making my point. If he would have dropped Sean being a guy, we would be like, yeah, Quavo, you did that. He came for you and you dropped him. When somebody came for Gucci and Gucci laid him down, we celebrated that. When you defend your honor against another man, it's celebrated. But if you do the exact same thing to a woman, they kill you for it. You're the bad guy. You're the villain. You got to be able to show restraint. So y'all want equality. Y'all want it equal all the way. Y'all want everything down the middle. If men got it, women should have it. But then we get into situations like this, and now it's, well, well, he shouldn't have manhandled her like that. Like, he could have did some damage to that woman had he really wanted to.
Quavo's like $150 wet.
And he slung her back into
she was
the elevator.
off balance. Like,
okay, she was on the ground. He could have stumped her out.
And that would have been extremely excessive and completely unnecessary.
And so when we get to the Justin LaBoy issue, where by all accounts, and this hasn't been confirmed, there's no video yet.
Right, TMZ's probably working on it.
Apparently, because of his role in this situation and some of his, I don't know what the right word is, his stirring of the pot on the show and on social media, apparently he was in Atlanta, Migos ran up on him, they put them things on. I believe Quavo's tweet was, sometimes to straighten things out, you got to get straightened out. Read between what you want, allegedly. And Streets is fine with that. And I watched I'm a faithful subscriber to JBP, and on there they said, if you got to straighten out, you get out of pocket, you straighten them out. And so he didn't put hands on Quavo. He didn't attack him. He did it all verbally. But when a physical attack came his way, and then she tried to grab, and from what I understand, the yellow box was like a PlayStation, like a special edition, which I hope that's in good condition because it hit the ground pretty hard.
So did she, for what it's worth.
She had it coming. And again, it could have been a lot worse, and I'm glad it wasn't. But I think we got to figure out which side of the fence y'all want to be on. Is it equality or is it not? Are there gender roles or are there not? What is going on? Because it's really hard to figure out in these situations what you're supposed to do, because I don't know, are we equals or are there gender roles? And for me, it's confusing. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, for you, it's confusing because you're black and white. It's either one way or another, or the other way. A lot of times for you, in most situations, you don't have a down the middle. Like, that's just how you function. So this particular subject or these particular incidents, you only see it one way. And so we've had this discussion as far as women equality and all of that multiple times. One, asking for equality from a man does not mean I don't still get to be feminine.
Never said that.
But that's what you're insinuating. So,
and for clarity, I'm not with it. I believe in gender roles. I believe things are defined. I believe a man is supposed to be a protector and a woman is supposed to be a nurturer. And I'm also for women being successful in business. You are a business owner. You have multiple businesses.
Yeah, I'm with it.
So I'm with that. But this ideology that is right down the line and we are exactly the same, that's where y'all lose me.
And for what it's worth, I agree. Physically, women are not the same as men. I 100% subscribe to the fact that women should not put their hands on men. Because one, you never know the type of man that you're about to put your hands on. You might think it's sweet, but then when he hits you back, you're upset. Period. And for what it's worth, men hit harder. Like, that's just what it is.
But there's people that would say, you can't say that.
Well, I mean, they can say what they want to say, but my opinion is my opinion. I don't particularly.
Right, and as a woman, you can say that. But if I say men are better athletes than women, like, the world will lose their mind.
I didn't know this is where you were going to go with this topic. Generally speaking, women are not better athletes. Generally speaking. At the top level of competitiveness, though, women are comparable. I wouldn't necessarily say better. I wouldn't say less than. They're just comparable. You look at instances like Serena Williams.
The greatest athlete of all time. Okay.
Fine. The greatest woman. She is the greatest athlete in her sport. A lot of men can't play her. Like, period. We were watching the women's NAAC in doubles.
What's that?
It's NCAA tournament earlier, and you were dogging them because of how bad they were. But if you played a pickup game with any of those girls, they would smash you.
100%.
So it just depends on the situation. So again, it's not that we want to be better than. We want to be.
Y'all do.
Nobody wants to be. I mean, okay.
Y'all do. There's literally a commercial that I see all the time right now talking about anything you can do, I can do better. And it's a Nike commercial, and then at the end, it's a bunch of women saying that they're better than men. And it ends with Michael Jordan saying, "No, you're not." And then the girl says, "Yes, I am," and hits the golf shot. Like, that's a thing. And that's played every day on ESPN or whatever channel.
Well, maybe you should watch a different channel then. The thing about it is when you've been so used and so conditioned to be told or understand that the reality is that men make more money than you. We're sitting here.
But that's not fair.
No, I'm not done.
All men.
I'm not done.
Okay, good.
We have the same degree. I could have the same experience. I have just as much skin in the game as you do, but you get promoted for a position over me because of what's between your legs. That's BS. Fine, if you want to take it back to women's sports, no, they don't bring in as much revenue. But when you have female athletes that are more decorated than basic athletes that are riding the bench, and female athletes make a tenth of what they make, that is ridiculous. The women's U.S. soccer team by far surpasses the men's soccer team in popularity, in skill, in everything. But it wasn't until recently, within the last year or two, that they really started to get the recognition that they deserved.
I mean, they had the recognition, they didn't have the money. And they had to go to court to get it. I still think if you put the U.S. women's team versus the men's team, the men would beat them. But I get your point. And Barely. Okay, we'll disagree. And so I get that point. And so you use some very unique situations. Use the greatest female team and argue one of the greatest women's sports teams. But I'll take that. I'm with you there. But I am going to push back on the notion, and this is something, and I'm going to transition to a slightly different topic, but it's great, and it's good and it's bad. Like, I want, and I know I'm going to come off as like some misogynist or whatever, and y'all can label me whatever you want. I'm with women making more. I'm not with inequality. But I think it's a flawed argument to say that man versus woman, this is what happens. Because it happens with man versus man. When I fill out an application, or when I go in for an interview, I have a less chance of getting it than certain groups of men also.
Yeah.
And that's never factored in. When y'all make these men versus women conversations, that don't happen. I would argue, and I don't have the stats, and I would love somebody to put them up for me, what the stats are from what I make per hour or for every dollar, however the breakdown is, versus a white woman or an Asian woman to black men.
But see, and then even
that
within
number,
that argument,
I would like to know more, because that to me is a more realistic argument. Now, as a black woman,
you're at the bottom of the totem pole.
And I agree
all
with
the
that.
time.
And I agree with that. But when you're talking about these equality conversations, you're not talking about that. Or not you. The people that have these conversations, they're not talking about all or just black women. They're talking about all women. And some women correlate to certain men better than if you're comparing it to a white man. A white man is going to beat everybody every time.
Yes.
That's the way the world currently functions. And it sucks, and I ain't with it, and I'm hoping that it will change, and I'm doing what I can to help it get to that point.
Most definitely.
But that part, as a black man, it frustrates me. Just like, and me and you had this conversation with Women's History Month. And then my response to you was, well, what about Men's History Month? And your response was, well, men have every single day of the year. And I said, white men have every single day of the year. Black men don't. We don't get much of anything. There's no Black Man History Month. We might get Black History Month, and we split that with women. And then Women's History Month, black women get celebrated again, rightfully so. But black men don't lump us in with other men because we don't fit into that category and we don't get those benefits. And so in this situation, and we've seen it in entertainment and society as a whole, except recently with Tiger Woods, he pulled some stuff.
I don't know, like he finessed that for real.
I don't know how he did it, but when we look at,
he gave away the green jacket. That's
when we get, I can't think of Epstein and how he handled his business. We look at how Harvey handled his business versus people like Bill Cosby. We look at what's currently going on with Deshaun Watson. I'm not speaking negatively against any of those women, but I think it would be very different that if some lawyer could manufacture, that's the wrong word, not manufacture. If 19 women had filed a lawsuit against a single white man and the lawyer was like, I'm not giving you any information on who any of these people are, I don't think that will fly. Like the way in which this is being,
the case,
the lawyer is handling the case, the way they're treating a black man, a white man would not stand for that. I don't know what laws and what things would need to be put in place, but it wouldn't be going down like this.
So to your point, one, we were speaking generally, but if you want to break it down by race, no. Black men, you can't compare what black men make, what happens to black men in the criminal justice system on a broad scale like that. I 100% agree. But at the end of the day, for as hard as black men have it, black women have it just as hard, if not harder at times. Historically, black women are always left out of the conversation. Even like that movie Hidden Figures. They made all this hoopla at the end about Katherine Johnson's character being in the room because she was there and she created the math that made this whole thing possible, when in reality, she sat in like a little room and watched it on TV. Completely fictitious. There are instances over and over and over and over again in history, even up till now, where black men are beginning to get more recognition. But black women, a lot of times, are left out of the conversation. They're not at the table, and it's a complete misrepresentation of what we do for not just our families, but for our communities, period. I don't have the numbers, but there are numbers that back that up. And this is not our relationship. This is not our thing. Mm-hmm. But even when you talk about the way we are treated, physically and mentally, we all go out into the world and deal with what it's like to be a black person in America. Obviously, times have gotten a little bit better, but there was a time where, as a black woman, you went out into the world and you were abused, and then you came home and you were abused. And the only people that really you got to love on were your kids, because you were getting beat from your man and then you were getting beat by society. And that is fact. It's just fact. And so, again, I 100% agree with black men not getting the recognition and the things that they deserve on all platforms of life. But you also have to remember that black women have not only been there with you not getting, but have also been in the back seat trying to get the scraps that you guys are throwing out, historically. And if you want to argue me on that, be my guest. Please comment that I am right. And I don't need validation, because I've read enough, I've seen enough, I've heard enough to know that this is true. So, yeah.
I'm not gonna go back and forth on that topic.
You don't have to.
I definitely disagree.
I know.
Especially when you try and lump everyone in this category that all black relationships, black women had it this way.
I didn't say all
That's
black
what you said.
women.
You said
I
they
said
go
a
out
lot
into,
of times.
You said they
you
go out
into the
public
world
and they get beat down, and then they come home and they get beat by their man.
a lot of times.
And that, so, okay, well, we'll disagree on that. Most of the times they'd kick the man out the house so he couldn't beat on her anyway, so they get the welfare. But when I don't want to go there because I'm not going to bash black women. That's not what this is about. In this scenario, back to Quavo and Saweetie, I was disappointed, and I'll say this, and I guess for black women, and I think they looked for an opportunity to ride for her and not hold her accountable. She was wrong in this situation. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care if you say, well, he should have did this. No. What preceded this is from what I understand, he went there and they were leaving. And for whatever reason, she felt the need to swing at him. That should be the end of the conversation. She started this, and to a certain extent, Chris Brown got destroyed when like he just beat Rihanna for no reason. Not the case. I don't know how black men win in these situations where, and then not even in this case, but in the white case, I'm not gonna say that actually, but in the case of Chet Hanks, and he has a kid by a black woman, and he was dating a black woman recently, and apparently she showed up. She says with movers, he says with two friends and family. One of them had a gun, and in the video and stuff, she was throwing pots and pans at him, and that's okay because I guess if you cheat, then you can be abused physically in any kind of way. So, but God forbid a woman cheat. And the numbers scream that women cheat at a similar, if not worse rate, but y'all are better at hiding it. That's been the big secret all these years. Let a man beat a woman for cheating. I guarantee the conversation will be different. I guarantee that man will be looked at the scum of the earth. But when a woman beats a man for doing it, she throw grits on him, she throw hot grease on him, she throw boiling water on him. Oh, that's okay. She burned down his house. Like, that's okay. But if a man does that when a woman cheats and y'all cheat, it ain't the same. Go ahead. You gonna say something.
So I don't know who got some hot grease thrown on them when they was cheating, but tell dude to press charges because that's ridiculous. Like
that's a thing. Like it doesn't happen as much now, but like that's a thing.
And so for what it's worth, I don't subscribe to that.
But the masses do.
Who are the masses?
Because the internet and regular people.
Even those, that's them talking, they're running their mouths. Regular people, they're not doing all of that.
They don't do it, but they're not gonna lock her up. She wrong for that. Well, that never happens in these situations. They never. When Cardi said she was drugging and robbing men, women didn't flip out on her. But when Rick Ross said it, they did.
And so 100% I see the double standard, and we're going to talk about it for what it's worth, or we're talking about it now. It is a complete double standard. But at the end of the day, I am a firm believer of respecting your partner or respecting people, right. Period. You don't put your hands on people unless they hit you first. And if you hit me first, then we'll see what happens after that. And that's just how I feel about that particular subject. But I'm never going to go out. And for what it's worth, a lot of women that I know aren't intentionally going to go out and be like, you cheated on me, I'm going to whoop you. No, I'm going to put you out. Or I'm going to not deal with you for a little while. Or whatever the case may be. For what it's worth, in this particular situation, Saweetie's statement after the video came out was like, this happened a year ago. It was unfortunate. We were going through things. And I took him back, and then things kept happening. And so at that point, I then decided to leave.
So why do you think she caused that issue?
Caused what issue?
The elevator incident. What do you think led her to get that angry?
I mean, I could think of a myriad of things that would piss me off to an extent where I would want to put my hands on you.
No. There's a difference between wanting and doing. She did. So what do you think? Because it's one of two ways. Either she has a very bad temper and something very easy sets her off, or two, she's very reserved and something super extreme happened, likely cheating, that led to it.
I think it would be the latter of the two.
So give me a second. So, if what we're saying is a year ago, she got this upset because he was cheating, why the heck are you mad now?
Why is she mad now?
They broke up because in her tweets basically said, "You're not the man I thought you were. You're a cheater, and I'm done with you." Why wait a year? If he's been cheating on you since then, why are you tripping now? You took him back. You said you took him back.
And
he cheated. You fought him.
She said she took him back, but they had a bunch of stuff going on, and she said they tried to work through it, which is what couples do.
They should.
I mean, for what it's worth, you can only be done with the person when you're done with the person. They can show you 100 times who they are and how they're going to treat you.
Yeah.
But then you get to that 101 time, and it's like a light bulb comes on. It's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, and that's,
I don't get that.
I mean, but that's you.
You're right.
That's you. There were, you obviously know my dating history. Like, sometimes you just hard-headed and you have to learn the lesson the hard way. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, she's dumb for going back and forth with him. A lot of people go back and forth with people they have no business being with for years before they finally decide that they're not going to deal with it anymore.
I hear you.
Again, this isn't an indictment of her and her character as to why she decided to stay with him. We're upset with the fact that she put her hands on him, and nobody's talking about the fact that she put her hands on him first. But we don't know what happened before they got to the elevator.
We don't.
We don't know what caused the situation.
His hands
in which
they were. He had his bag and his yellow bag. She had a free hand.
Well, when the video starts, they're fighting over the little, we'll call it a PlayStation because it says Call of Duty on it, so I'm assuming it's a PlayStation. They're fighting over the PlayStation, and she swings. Obviously, she's swinging to get him to let go of the PlayStation, which he did. But he then, in the same onus that you would say, hey, don't put your hands on him or her, he sees where this situation is going. She is becoming violent. Why still chase after her? Why fight over the PlayStation? Why put yourself in a position where somebody can look at you crazy because you're fighting with this person? I'm going to take the gender out of it completely for this situation and say, if two people are fighting over an object and you don't want to get hemmed up in any way, shape, or form because of this situation, just let him have it.
No.
You got all that money, you can't go get another one.
You can't get
He could go call PlayStation and they'll make him one. Like, there's...
So that just goes to show where there's a lack of intelligence here. Because what happens is, on each PlayStation is this thing called a profile. Okay, and see, that mentality is exactly why she did what she did.
I know what you're getting ready to say.
Right.
He wanted to keep his game stats and his points and his players and all that stuff. Fine. He can get that transferred.
No.
You might not be able to. I bet you he could. You're regular. He's not. Thanks. The same way you... I love you so much. Not like that. Like, you're a regular person. He is a celebrity. He's famous. He's got money. He could get that fixed.
Not if it's saved on that PlayStation.
Who saves stuff on a PlayStation anymore? That's what they have the little network crap for now.
No, like the disc that you downloaded from a lot of times, the new PlayStation 5 is a digital only. It doesn't even have a standard. There's a version, you have no disc.
So then you're saving everything to like a cloud.
You're not listening to me. You download the game onto your 5 terabyte PlayStation and you save everything in PlayStation. So you know what happens when your PlayStation dies?
Use everything.
Exactly. So if she takes said PlayStation, throws it in the water. We've seen plenty of videos where women maliciously destroy things and men who have spent months building up these profiles because that's important to them. They don't go out in the street. They sit home and they play a game and they love it. I've been that guy. I don't get that luxury anymore. So I got a bunch of lovely children running around and they destroy crap. And I don't want to have my system destroyed, so I haven't invested in that. But at some point, I would like to get back into it. But no, you don't just, because you pissed off, I got to waste months. And this is, like I said, these are rappers, entertainers. They've been in COVID. They've been sequestered to their homes. They've been playing a bunch. Again, there are certain weapons. There are certain money that you spent. There's a ton of other stuff that is just get a new PlayStation.
I'm not trying to belittle.
You literally did that.
Okay, so I apologize. I didn't mean to make an attack on gamers and all of that. Like, I understand the severity in which you're talking about. 100%. But for him, in the position that he's in.
So why is the onus on him? She needs to be better.
She does. Like again, I said, so everybody in this situation could have handled the situation
in the
better.
perfect scenario for him, he should have done what?
In a perfect
Let her destroy the PlayStation, duck the swing, drop everything so you got it. Whatever you about to do, go ahead and do it. I don't want nothing with it. That should have been his stance.
Personally, that's what I feel like you should have done.
That's absurd.
I mean, and that's absurd to you. But if you were in the same situation, were you fighting her for the PlayStation?
If I'm him?
You, Ray Bond. You.
So I don't have his money?
No. You are you. It's fine. It's us. It's us. You told me many a times that if we ever got to that kind of thing, you would call the police on me. You said it. I've seen you call the police on people. Like, bruh, you're not fighting with somebody over a PlayStation. No matter how important it is to you. But the PlayStation that came after the swing. I don't know. No, she had the place. Like, they were swing. They both had the PlayStation. And she swung.
Right. Yeah.
She swung trying to get him to let go of the PlayStation. Which he did. So, and then when he let go.
You're right. In my situation, I would, but I have, because of the life I live, I have a lot more to lose than he did. If I'm him and I have the lawyers that he has that can fight this case, I have the money, the resources, like my life is gravy, I'm fighting. I can take that L. I can take the social media L. I can take the criminal L. Like, I've had far worse charges than whooping your sorry tail. But as me, the guy that, just trying to get by with all these kids.
You make it sound like we over here struggling. Stop that.
We're not going to have that conversation. So, yes, you're right. Me, I got way too much to lose. But if I was him, with his kind of resources, his kind of backing, absolutely not. And then when you've been at that level and you're that guy, your mentality is different. We saw when Steve Stout was on the podcast and he just carries himself a certain type of way. People have talked about when you're a celebrity, when you're famous, when you're rich, your aura changes. You're not just going to allow people to talk to you and treat you a certain type of way. And people love Lil Saweetie. I don't know none of her songs. I don't know how many of them are top 100. I don't know if she has a solo album out yet. So I'm sure if I'm him, I'm like, I done did this. Like, you popular, but I've actually done this game. So the fact that someone like you, you look good, and I don't actually, no, I think she's solid. But like, who are you? And if I'm him, like, we alluded to this on another pod, like, I got you because I slid in your DM with a snowflake. Like, that's who you are to me. So just chill out. Go enjoy the ride. Do your thing. You're hot right now, as far as what I can understand. But you might want to get some Grammys and some nominations and put out a full album, take a tour, and do some more stuff before you come at me like that.
That's disrespectful.
That's like, just like we saw Diddy do it with Cassie.
I mean, for what it's worth, and even that, like, we're not gonna go down that road. Disrespectful in how you completely disregard who she is and the situation because she's not as famous or more famous than he is.
I'm saying if I'm him, that's my mentality. Like,
right,
you need
and
me
it's
more than I need you.
disrespectful.
Okay, that's fine. But that's the facts of life.
And so you see, because he disrespects her, obviously
We
on a
haven't seen
regular.
that. We haven't
No,
seen that.
we've seen what they let us see on social media.
Right, and that's all we can go by.
And so if you want to go by the video that we just saw on the elevator, one, if this is what they do on an elevator,
Who knows how much she done swung at him in behind closed doors? You're
or
right.
who knows how much disrespect she's put it up with in the years that they've been together, which is what she said. And he was blown because she's telling their business, which
is what's the word I'm looking for?
Understandable.
Sloppy. No, it's not understandable.
No,
you don't run to the
you're
internet.
blown because I mean it's understandable that he's blown.
Yeah. But that's just messy. That messy is the word I'm looking for. Like, you don't.
They're celebrities. That's what celebrities do.
Okay, that's not real life. People put the happy pictures on, and then when it goes bad, they just take everything down.
No.
When you want to start airing stuff out, that go both ways. We started with Kirk Franklin. You want to start airing stuff out? We can air stuff out, and it can get real dirty. We saw what Michael Rappaport and Kevin Durant just went through. Cost Kevin Durant $50,000 because me and you having a private conversation, and you want to run to the internet. That's childish and trifling. If we done, we done. What you running to the internet for?
Yeah.
Validation? To make me look bad?
Yes.
We're already, like you said, in the video she already said they broken up. She's put that out there. So why do you feel the need to go on Twitter and start dogging me and trying to tell what happened and why we broke up? It ain't none of their business. That's childish and messy. And if I'm him, okay, you don't gotta like me. I was wrong. I'm with that. But to try and embarrass me and throw dirt on my name unnecessarily when we're already done, yeah, I would have an issue.
So I'm just going to stir the pot a little bit. You didn't have anything negative to say about your ex when y'all were going through y'all stuff?
Before what I said, I think last week, most people don't know anything about that. Check my social media.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't put no details. I didn't. Now, when we
when
we got divorced and people ask, what the heck happened? Or the stupidest question in the world I kept hearing, where's your wife? when people kept asking me that, after a while, I was like, I'm sick of lying. I'm sick of saying, oh yeah, she's here, she's there. Nah, we're done. It's over. She cheated. We're done. But initially, like the details and the stuff, like there's a bunch of stuff that went on that you and I know. But nobody else know that stuff.
And I'm not even saying that you put it out on the internet, but in conversations with people who are close to you, or just conversations about the situation. You're not necessarily even trying to make her look bad, but you're also dealing with the end of something that you thought was going to be forever. And people have questions. The same way that Saweetie put out the 1-2 tweets that she put out about their relationship ending. She did the Justin LaBoy show, and the way that she was talking on the Justin LaBoy show was reckless. And it's just like, bro, where's Quavo? Where's Quavo? And that's what she was getting in like all over the social media sphere. And so she put out there like, this is what was going on, and this is where I am now. And then she didn't say nothing else about it.
The tweets came after that.
No, that's what I'm saying. The tweets came after the Justin LaBoy show.
Right. So she did. Like, you've already put it out there, and then you start tweeting after that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, because the tweets came because of the Justin LaBoy show.
Which she did.
Right.
So she went on there, and for those, I don't know how many people know, like, Justin LaBoy, his thing was Demon Time, where he got into very intricate, messy kind of situations. So she knew what she was going into. And he said as much. When you come on my show, you know what I'm about. So she knew what the expectation, what the subject of the conversation was. And if she didn't, then that's on her. Do your research before you do an interview with the person. Like, back in the day, if you went on Howard Stern's show, you knew...
Not Howard Stern.
I don't know enough people, but you knew the line of questioning and where that kind of interview was going to go.
Yeah.
He's not Howard Stern, but that's his lane. So she knew what she was doing. Her body language, the laughing, the drinking, the conversations about threesomes. She knew all that.
But fine. she knew it.
And if she's
whatever.
single, you have that prerogative.
And so people did not know that her and Quavo broke up. And so after the show aired and people saw all of that, they're like, hey, dog, what's good with you and Quavo? Like, I saw the tweets, I saw stuff on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And so she addressed it. And then that's it. And then,
no, it's not it.
And then
now
Quavo
has to respond.
Right, and no, Quavo doesn't have to respond.
So you're just gonna throw that out there, and I'm supposed to sit back and be like, no, absolutely not.
So you feel that way because your ego's being bruised because one, you were wrong for what you did, and now she's putting out there.
Once you've put it out in public, now people are hitting me, and now the same way you said people were hitting her. And she didn't respond. The same thing for him.
He didn't respond with, I was, I cheated on her and now we're not together anymore. He responded to her saying, I thought you were better than this. This is the kind of woman you are. Well, for what it's worth, sir, you've been showing me the kind of man you are for at minimum a year.
Right.
So you to judge me.
And I did that in private. The stuff that video happened how long ago? A year.
A year.
He ain't go out and put nothing out about that.
Why would he? He looks bad.
If he would have put out a tweet without the video and said, me and Saweetie are no longer together because she's physically abusive.
Then people would have wanted to know why.
There you go. But he did not do that. The same way she could have said, you know what? It just didn't work out between me and him. I love him. I wish him the best. But
so she's supposed to protect his character.
He protected hers. When she swung on him and he said nothing.
He looks bad in the video too, Ray.
You keep going back to the video. The point is she physically attacked him. And
they both look bad in the video.
You still keep going to how they look. I'm talking about what happened. What happened is she swung on him. He chose to say nothing. He could have said...
But you also don't know what happened before that video.
You're right.
And so to just say that she swung on him and now she's abusive or whatever you want to call it, that's too one-sided. That's why there's this whole investigation into what happened now.
Okay. We disagree. And that's fine.
It's cool.
I think we touched on everything.
We have.
Did we talk on what the expectation is?
I mean, a little bit. You can talk about it some more.
I mean, I've said my piece. My mom did not teach me this. The streets taught me this. That
jeez.
If you put your hands on someone, expect them to put their hands back on you.
Most definitely.
It don't matter if it's a man or a woman. Advice I've given to other women is if you can hit a man, you can get hit by a man.
Is that the advice you're going to give Courtney?
Yes. She does not need to put her hands on anybody. And if she put her hands on a man, the onus should not be on the man to show restraint. I ain't with that. And if she is comfortable enough to put her hands on a man, then she can live with the results. And in today's society, the way things are going, she would be hard-pressed to not do that. Because kids today care for nothing. And based on what I've seen from her, she's not a fighter.
She's so gentle.
She'll scratch the crap out of you. Trust me, I know.
She's so gentle.
But she's not a fighter. And I'm good with that.
Yeah, she's not. But okay, so then...
And especially if you're not a fighter, definitely don't go putting your hands on people.
Now, she's going to learn how to fight. She's got to defend herself, so...
Well, you don't want our kids to do any kind of combat sport, so...
I mean, not combat sport, but they can learn how to defend themselves.
Okay.
It's totally different.
All right. I'm with it.
Jesus, y'all see what I deal with? This is my life.
So don't put your hands on nobody.
And again, I subscribe to that. if you, man or woman, old person, young person, whoever, you put your hands on me, you catch me on the wrong day, you gonna get a 2-piece bag. And that's just how it goes. But I'm not walking around antagonizing people ready to fight at the drop of a hat. And I don't think anyone should resort to violence unless you absolutely have to. And when it gets to that point, then, don't take no L's.
And to that point, you're right. We don't know what happened. But I would also say, and I don't know the ages of these two, by all accounts, he's leaving. If you know you're beefing, let the man leave. Why are you going with him wherever he's going? If you're still that mad. It was, from what I hear reported, it was at her apartment. Let the man leave. He got his stuff in his hand. He gone. Why are you following him? Where are you going?
She was going with him. Apparently he must have been going to another chick's house. That's probably that's probably what was going on.
Okay, so let me go.
So you can go cheat on me some more?
If you know I'm going to another woman's house, we ain't together.
No.
If I'm telling
at that
you,
point, they was going through what they was going through.
If in this scenario, if you're saying he was leaving, he was taking his PlayStation.
Right, because he took his play. When a man takes his
woman's
PlayStation,
house,
like, he's probably not coming back, and you just gotta let that go.
There you go. Let him go.
And I'm good. I completely agree with that.
So she should have let that man walk down that road or down that hallway, get on that elevator, and be done with him. You're attractive. I believe she probably has a decent amount of money. She can get another rapper easy. I don't know. They probably live in Atlanta. Atlanta's hot. There's plenty of people.
No, they in LA. Well, she lives in LA. Yeah.
So you are it right now. Like
I mean, when
now are you gonna find somebody else that's gonna get you buy you Birkins and Bentleys? Maybe not.
I mean, apparently everybody buy Birkins now. It's like not as special as it used to be. I mean, they buy the off-the-shelf Birkins, not the super special custom-made Birkins.
Yeah, but they're still only a select group that's buying those for women.
No, I agree.
So, understand, and I think that's part of this, she also had to recognize what she would be walking away from. She hasn't made it yet like that. She ain't Nicki. She ain't Cardi. She ain't made it yet. And so...
Her song, again, I don't listen to her. No,
she ain't
I agree. Yeah.
She's in that next tier, but
she ain't up there.
As far as, and I would be curious to know from a money standpoint, how much money is she making? I imagine her deal, we talked about the record industry, I doubt she has a great deal. She hasn't been able to tour. I don't think she has an album. So, I don't know her net worth. And so I think that's a lot it is something to consider. We looking at her music?
Yeah. I mean, we right here.
Oh, she got, okay, so she's
she got 2 albums.
Oh, she did got 2 albums.
Mm-hmm.
One's 22 minutes. On what label is this?
She's signed to
Warner.
Yeah, she's probably got a crappy deal.
Yeah. So
no, just hit this. Go back.
All right, this new iTunes, and then she put them back to back. So she's been working, not in 2020, which isn't surprising, and 21 minutes. So she has 2 albums totaling 40 minutes, and Quavo's on 2 of these songs of the 7. So okay, and I would imagine those are probably the singles. All right, this doesn't look like there's any features on her first album. And again, I don't know enough about her music. I ain't criticizing her. More power to you. I hope it works. I'm not. I'm saying she's not him. And she's not Cardi. And she's not Meg. And she's not Nicki.
No, she did some. Oh, no. This is like a feature.
And so, I don't know her music. And for those who do, I'm with it. There's a bunch of men's music I don't know also.
I mean, but you don't listen to that much secular music, so.
This is also true. I try to, especially now, I'm trying to stay more relevant, but no. I like a lot of Lil Baby stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm a fan. He's going to be at that festival I want to go to.
Yeah.
No.
At least the stuff, and I like more so because of his stance and his content. I'm all for black empowerment, and he seems to be in that wave, in that lane, similar to Nipsey towards the end of his life. Rest in peace, Nipsey. I think it was 2 years that just passed.
Because we found out Nipsey died like when we first started dating, like officially started dating.
Yeah, it's true.
And we saw the tweet. I was sad.
It was.
So, yeah, this is a sucky situation between Quavo and Saweetie.
And if they get back together,
man, for her sake, I hope she doesn't, because she's gonna look real silly.
Chloe got a big rock now.
I mean, but does anybody really think that Tristan is different besides her?
She had that big rock though.
Don't nobody care. The rocks, the bags, all this. At the end of the day, those material things do not hold your relationship together. If you are with a person that you are not, I mean, they make it better.
Yeah.
They make you halfway decide, oh, well, let's see. I can go back to my sucky life with none of these things.
I mean, Chloe's life wouldn't be sucky.
I mean, but average person.
Yeah.
You're looking at the highs and lows of making a decision on whether you want to stay with somebody.
Remember when lubes was a big thing? Nobody cares about it. Like, those were $1,000 shoes. Now that's like, you buy a girl some of them, like, what do you know?
You can get me some for my birthday. Like, I would love to pay.
Yeah.
No.
We'll see.
No, the material things, that stuff doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you want to be happy, you want to be happy, and that stuff's not going to make you happy. Your partner, your partner is a contributing factor to the happiness in your life.
Oh,
so if he's making you miserable, there's no number of bags that's going to fill up the hole that you're miserable.
The hole? Wow.
Yeah.
I got
empty.
Quick.
I mean, because essentially that's what it is. You're unhappy, and you're unhappy because your relationship is not what you want it to be.
And I will reiterate my point. If you're doing these relationships with rappers and entertainers, you're probably not going to be happy.
That's not true. There are plenty of entertainers.
I know.
Sports figure, LeBron James, Grant Hill, and Tamia. Like, there are plenty.
We don't know what they've been through.
I mean, they'll tell you they've been through a lot, but they've been through it together and are on the other side of all that miserable stuff.
And Grant Hill and Tamia got together before social media. It was different.
It don't matter.
It do matter. The world is smaller. This flying out women is a thing now.
Okay.
Like, and I'm not, I hope LeBron and Grant Hill, y'all good. I'm not suggesting anything otherwise. But it just,
but
I just think
there's never been any rumors about LeBron James like that.
That's not true.
Oh, so he's
had some questionable DMs that have got screenshotted.
A questionable DM versus a full-on affair.
Yes, I agree. He has not been caught. And I'm off the court, and even on the court, I respect LeBron. LeBron is, I told you, I think LeBron should run for president, personally. And I mean that 100%.
You think everybody should run for president?
I don't. I think there's two people, and I would support either of them. LeBron, my political beliefs would probably not align with a lot of LeBron, but I think for black people, LeBron would be great. And then Kanye's a different situation. And hey, y'all got me on April Fools. That's messed up, but I still stand behind my point. Hopefully, that would be crazy. We could have Kanye versus LeBron running for president.
You're ridiculous sometimes.
I just say, I think the culture would win either way. Instead of stimulus checks, they gave everybody Yeezys. Man. All right, I'm done. So that's all I got for this week's episode.
Bonus episode.
This bonus episode, we'll have some more heat coming for you. Hopefully, enjoyed it. The next episode will not be nearly as fun. But it's more important, in my opinion, for the culture. So definitely stay tuned. Remember, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor. We all over.
Yeah.
So definitely check us out, subscribe, share.
Are we going to tell them or no? We'll wait till all the papers are signed.
We'll wait till all the paperwork and all that good stuff signed. But we definitely got I would like to believe, a pretty big announcement.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to share it with you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. But I love you.
I love you.
Yep, we gotta live with each other after these conversations. And we'll be great. You guys be great. And have a happy Easter.
Resurrection Sunday.
Or Resurrection Sunday. I tried to, be
culturally.
Yeah. You know how I feel.
Acceptable.
Yeah, I gotta do an Easter egg hunt for the first time. That's gonna be exciting.
It's gonna be great. The kids are gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, the 16,
All right, y'all.
18-month-olds. Yeah. Love y'all.